So before I get into this video, I want to say for those of you who missed the last amazing live stream on my channel featuring the very brilliant Kendall St. Charles and the Pink Pill, that live stream is now available for members only. Now, to become a member, click the join button next to the subscribe button on my channel. If you don't see the join button, switch to a laptop, desktop computer, or change to the desktop view on your cell phone or mobile device. Due to the sensitive information in the video, I'm just not comfortable with it being available to the general public. I know some of you aren't happy about that, but if you were in my position, I guarantee that you would understand. And going forward, all live streams containing sensitive information will stay up for members only. So if you want to hear two pioneers of the online Black woman sphere really go deep on this topic that I'm going to discuss in this video, and you want to hear their wisdom, become a member to hear yesterday's live stream and become a member to hear future member only content. And I just want to thank you guys so much for your support, all the new members, all the old members, and thank you for your understanding. So I wanted to do a general public video about 7-year-old Winta Amore. And I know you guys have seen her face everywhere. I mean, she's been shared millions of times. So I want to talk about her and other Black girls and women protesting on the front lines. And I want to address some of the talking points that I see. And listen, I know I've been going real hard on this topic of Black women protesting for the last week or so. But before I move on, ladies, I have more to say. And I see a ton of Black women really calling this out, and I'm so happy about that. I'm happy that we're waking up. But I want to equip you guys with some more talking points. So the first argument I want to address are the people saying that taking your kids to protests is harmless because parents should be teaching them about racism and teaching them about the real world instead of keeping them in the dark, and they should just push them out there to face it. And listen, I'm not a parent, you guys know that. So I am not here to tell anyone how to raise their kids. I would never do that. But this is just my opinion, and a lot of this is based on how I was raised. One, my mama didn't have to take me to a protest and have me on the front lines, making speeches to teach me about racism and colorism or any other ism. And I know it's different for every Black child. Maybe, this child is what they like to call anointed. I don't know, but I'm just saying children don't have to do this to learn about racism. That is my point here. Secondly, keeping your kids in the dark about racism, that is one thing. But let's stop acting like that is all that is happening here. The intellectual dishonesty is disgusting to me. And maybe it's ignorance on the part of some of you. But either way, I'm going to break it down for you. Black girls specifically are being adultified. And this is something that has statistically been proven to be a problem for Black girls and women. Of course, it's fine to educate your child about the color of their skin and the injustices in the world that we live in. But singling them out and making them the face of social justice, making them the face of defiance and destruction and chaos and protesting when you're literally not doing that to any other group of people, that is problematic for obvious reasons. And this is why when people say, oh, Chrissy, everybody is out there getting hurt, everybody's at risk, other people are dying, I'm like, fine, I get it, but show me a little white girl or a little non-Black girl that has gone viral and gotten over 20 million views and counting for doing something like this. And I say it's intellectual dishonesty because you guys can understand the problem with white people going out there and looting and Black people getting blamed for it, because that's going to happen. Even though they're out there, spraying graffiti on the buildings and all that, Black people are going to get blamed for that. You can see how that's a problem, right? But you can't see the problem with Black girls and women being used as the poster child of social justice and protesting and holding most of the weight and the burden that comes with that, even though other people are out there doing it too. So I don't care if little Becky is out there with her bullhorn. I don't care if she's out there with her picket signs. I don't care if she's out there on the microphone. It's little dark-skinned Black girls that are getting 20 million views doing it. Okay, so let's not compare apple to oranges. It's images and video of dark-skinned black women and girls everywhere. Black women are fighting cops. They're kneeling in front of cops and their guns. It's the collective of dark-skinned black women and girls that got to deal with the targets that's going to be on our backs when all of this is over. It's us that has to deal with all of the mess that comes from what's happening right now. And my biggest issue with this is that too many black women, y'all really think this is a revolution. You think that this temporary spotlight and black unity and, love for black women like Breonna Taylor, you really think that's going to continue. And you think that all of this praise and attention that dark-skinned women are getting is going to last when it won't. And I promise you guys, I am not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to be a dream killer, but it's the truth. After all this dies down, this so-called black unity is going to fade. And it's you that's going to be left to deal with all of the residual effects of all of this adultifying and masculinizing imagery of black women and girls. And y'all keep telling me, oh, Chrissy, look at the bigger picture. I am looking at the bigger picture, ladies. Not a fantasy picture, but a realistic picture. I'm looking at how this will end for black women and girls. So is it me who can't see the bigger picture, or is it you? Because the way I see it is you're caught up in this fantasy of equality and black revolution when it ain't no revolution, ladies. It's not. And be clear, even though black people are largely responsible for, putting dark-skinned girls and women out there, both black women and black men, we are putting ourselves in the position to be used as the face of all of this. But even though we're doing that, white people and white media are the ones that make it go mainstream. And I see these white people on Twitter, oh, you go girl, oh, she's gonna be a warrior. I see these white women, co-signing black women for stuff they would never do. White men and white women are showing Winta in the mainstream media because she's not threatening to them. And be clear, there are black men and boys out there too, but they're not going to show them because black boys and black men are too intimidating. So while black men are co-signing this, them using black women as the face of social justice and, as being on the front lines, it only makes black men look weak and incompetent. Just like this is masculinizing the black woman's image, it's emasculating the black man's image. And right now, we're loving it, you guys. We're loving it as a community. The black men are praising black women for fighting for them on the front lines. Black women are eating up all of this Wakandan warrior promotion and celebration and praise. But when it's all over, black women will go back to complaining about how nobody sees them as feminine, how everybody dehumanizes them. And oh, we have feelings too. We're worthy of protection. And black men are going to go back to complaining about how emasculated they are by black women. So in reality, both parties are allowing the system that they claim they want to destroy, by the way. They're allowing the system of white supremacy to perpetuate part of what keeps us losing in the first place as a community. And that is the role reversal in the black community. But you have online black men mad at me for saying this, even though they complain about black women not being feminine enough every other day. Before this George Floyd situation, black women were too masculine, according to them. So you would think that since they're so against black women being masculine and aggressive and manly, as they say, you would think that they wouldn't co-sign these women out here exhibiting that very same masculine behavior. But see, that masculine behavior is okay when we're fighting for them, right? So this only proves that they want dark-skinned women to be masculine. They want to use us for labor while they keep their precious light, bright, and white women and girls at home, safe and sound at home. And white people feel the same way, which is why they perpetuate this in the media. The light-skinned mixed girls, they're too close to white. And, they're associated with softness and femininity and being dainty and being cute, right? So they won't use their image either, even though I have seen a few pictures of mixed women and light-skinned women out there too being Wakandan warriors. But whose image are they going to use? They are going to use the darkest little girl they can find and give her 20 million views instead, because dark-skinned girls and women are associated with masculinity and they represent the struggle, the revolution. I've said this this a million times on my channel, and it's playing out before our very eyes. Tell me, ladies, when is the last time that a little girl who looked like Winter went viral for her beauty? The last time a little girl who looks like her went viral was when that little girl called herself ugly while looking in the mirror. So you can see the impact this imagery has. The only time these little girls feel seen is when they're social justice warriors on the front lines. And the same goes for Black women. That's why we're eating this up right now. And I suspect that is why her mother agreed to put her out there like that, and why she's bringing her up like this. I feel like she may be projecting her feelings of not being seen onto her daughter. And I'm not saying, her parents or her mother is a bad person. I did find her on Instagram, and I did look around for a minute. And Winter, she appears to be a very well taken care of little girl. Based on what I saw anyway. The father is in the picture, but her mom appears to be more involved. And I'm sure her mother learned the pro-Black SJW stuff from somewhere too. It just doesn't fall out of the sky. It doesn't come from nowhere, you guys. This conditioning is being passed down from generation to generation, and it starts really, really young with most Black girls and women. So I'm sure she's just teaching her daughter what she was taught from her parents or her mother in the Black community. As Kendall said in the live stream, they teach Black women when they're girls to be the mules, the fighters of the community, and the designated survivors, while the boys are taught more or less that they can just go wherever and do whatever they want. And this is why you see pictures of mostly Black girls with their fist in the air and, Black power, Black unity, and you don't really see the boys like that. I mean, I saw a couple of pictures of boys. I actually saw just one. I'm just going to be honest. I saw one picture of a little boy with his fist in the air. I'm not saying there isn't more than one. I'm just telling you what I saw. But for the most part, when I see who's getting all the coverage and all the images that are being taken, it's mostly Black girls like Winter. And it's mostly Black girls and women who are on the front lines. And yes, I have a huge problem with that. And I'm going to keep speaking up about it. I'm going to keep speaking up until more Black women snap out of it and stop raising their girls like this. I can't, you guys, I can't stand by while this is happening. Do I support fighting for victims of police brutality? Absolutely. But not at my expense and the expense of my image as a Black woman. Y'all keep telling me I'm being disrespectful to George Floyd and his daughters and that it isn't the right time. But no, it's the perfect time. It is the perfect time when women who look like me and George's daughter are being made the shields and the sacrifice for this movement. We are the most vulnerable out here at these protests. I don't care how many people are out there. It's Black women and girls who are the most vulnerable. We got pregnant Black women dying and miscarrying. We got Black women getting guns pulled out on them by Black male looters for trying to clean up their neighborhood, clean up their community. The Pink Pill talked about that on the live stream. Now we have white people and Latinos retaliating against Black people who are looting, and Black women are being harmed. They're being targeted by them as well. Black women are catching rubber bullets to the head. They're going to jail. Their faces being plastered everywhere, when any other time we don't matter. Whether you see it or not, I'm honoring Breonna Taylor and George's daughters, just like you say you are. And the way that I'm honoring them is by protecting their image and prioritizing the well-being of women and girls who look like them. You may not have the range to see it or understand what I just said, but that's not my problem. I'm going to still speak up about it. If you want to celebrate Black women being on the front lines, you can go to any other channel, but we're not doing that over here. The best way that you can help the Black community and other Black women is stay home, ladies. And you can protest and show your support in other less threatening ways. Sign petitions, donate money, just stay home. I actually saw a post on Twitter of a gay Black man saying that many trans women and gay Black men are refusing to protest for George Floyd because they feel that these protests are supporting the very men who kill them, who hate them, who call them names, and who make fun of them for being gay or transsexual. And he actually said in the video that Black women need to take a page out of their book and do the same, because Black men are going to go right back to shitting on us when this is all over. And you know what? He's absolutely right. So we got gay Black men out here and trans women out here burning the cape. while a lot of black women are still holding out hope for this community and still fighting on the front lines. It's crazy and it's embarrassing. And you guys can keep talking about this bigger picture stuff and saying it isn't only about supporting black men, but that is what it looks like. All of these memes floating around talking about Cash App a black man lunch money today, and send a black man $75, and I'm gonna marry a black man. I'm gonna love him so good he forgets the whole world is against him. That's what y'all are doing. And y'all are actually sending money to these niggas. Y'all cash apping these niggas. So you can keep lying and saying it isn't about black men, but it is. And listen, it's not just black women. Both black men and white woman protesters, they're making it about black men too. And black dick in particular. So for black women, we're fighting for black men in the community, but black men and white women, it's about sex for them, and it's about sexual access to them. Y'all see how these men are holding up these signs and completely absolving white women from racism, white supremacy, talking about, oh, she loves every inch of me, why can't you? So the black men out there, ladies, they're fighting mostly for themselves and for sexual access, while you are out here fighting for the black man in the community. We're fighting for two different things, ladies, and you need to wake up to that fact and burn the cape. And for the black men who say that black women are only protesting to fulfill their selfish agendas, I do think that's true for some women. I do. But I don't think that applies to most black women. I'm sorry, I just don't. And if you listen to these men, they actually contradict themselves. First, they say that black women are protesting for selfish reasons. Then they say that black women are protesting to get backdoor validation from black men, to get attention from black men, to get black men to appreciate them more, right? Well, it's either about black men or it isn't. Because if we're really doing this to get more appreciation from black men and to get validation from black men, which I totally agree with, I think that's part of why we are doing this. But since we are doing that, that means that it is about black men. And I realize that there are rebellious feminist black women out there who are marching, who don't even like men. And there are also women out there protesting for other women, other black women like Breonna Taylor. But there are a bunch of black women who are out there protesting on behalf of black men for their sons, their brothers, their fathers, their uncles, or they're trying to get validation and recognition from black men. And they think this is going to make black men want them more. And maybe it's all those things at once. Two things can exist at the same time. And again, the minority of black men saying black women are protesting for selfish reasons, it does not trump the general population of black men who really do feel like black women are supporting them. They feel like that. That's where all of this sudden appreciation they have for black women is coming from. I'm seeing it everywhere. Black men who have never posted dark-skinned women posting them. Snoop Dogg, maybe he has in the past, but not usually unless it's his daughter or his wife or something. But like Snoop Dogg is posting Black Lives Matter, these dark-skinned women, marching and dancing. Puff Daddy of all people posting up dark-skinned women when he don't promote dark-skinned women like that. Black men are being very vocal about black women right now, about us having their backs. Y'all sent me a clip of John Boyega, I think that's his name. He's an actor from the UK. And he was crying about how black men need to protect black women because we belong to them and it's their responsibility. And it was cute. It was real cute. But then one of y'all sent me a picture of his girlfriend or his ex-girlfriends. I don't know. I don't know if this is accurate. Okay. This was sent to me. Somebody from the UK can clarify it for me, but I'm looking at his girlfriends or his past girlfriends. They don't look nothing like the black women out there protesting. Nothing like those women who are on the front lines. The point is, these dudes, they talk a big game. They talk a big game and don't even partner with black women. So who does his speech even benefit when it's all said and done? Or is he just in the moment and in his feelings because of what happened to George Floyd, and he sees himself reflected in George Floyd, and he sees all these black women going hard for George Floyd. So he's like, we gotta protect our women. I think he's just in the moment, ladies. And he's not the only one who's been called out about this. There was also a thread on Twitter that you guys sent me. And this was a thread full of black men saying everything that they loved about Black women. And of course, everything was about us being strong and resilient and independent, and we're able to bounce back even though the world hates us. So they're acknowledging pretty much that they shit on us, because it's mostly Black men who usually come out and shit on us. So they're acknowledging that they hate us and we still love them. That's basically what they're saying. Y'all still love us after all of that. Y'all so strong, even though any other time we're manly and we're not feminine enough. And that's why they're getting other races of women. But again, when it's time to fight for Black men, our strength is celebrated. Y'all know the drill. But there were men on there getting exposed for their past tweets trashing Black women. But the very same men are under there saying all these sweet things about Black women, talking about how much they love Black women now that we're showing up for them during this George Floyd situation. And listen, this is not to say that Black men or a Black man can't have a change of heart. People can change. But all I'm saying is don't let your guard down, ladies. Don't get emotionally caught up in this Black woman worship, because there's a very high chance that it may just be pandering and it's going to be short-lived. Again, I'm not trying to kill your dreams or burst your bubble or whatever, but it is what it is. This is a pattern. So just be mindful of that before you allow them to suck you in and before you fall for them gassing you up. My point here, ladies, is that we are doing this mostly for Black men. And y'all say all I do is talk about Black men. Well, that's because Black women are out here looking dumb for Black men. Contrary to what some believe, this has nothing to do with my personal relationships with Black men. It has everything to do with my collective image and well-being as a Black woman, as a dark-skinned Black woman. Because we're out here being pandered to, we're out here being used, and we're out here being manipulated. Y'all can keep gaslighting, calling me miserable and bitter and hurt and rejected. You're obsessed with my miserable, bitter, hurt, rejected ass, okay? And you can call me whatever you want, but the truth is that I'm beyond wanting validation and reciprocity from Black men, especially from these broke dusties online. I don't know what they're thinking, but my mission is to get more Black women to burn the cape and stop embarrassing themselves and embarrassing me and the rest of us. Most of us over here, we're indifferent when it comes to the collective of Black men. Whether we have an individual good Black man or a good non-Black man, we're just indifferent to it all. And I'm just going to be honest. Once you wake up and you start seeing the Black community and the collective of Black men with new eyes, once you start seeing things realistically, the attraction for Black men either goes away or it's not very strong, or you just put Black men on equal footing with non-Black men. And I know that is very painful and hard to believe for some of you arrogant Negroes that listen to me, because you know, we Black women, I'll admit it, we have gashed your heads up. We have gashed your dusty, mediocre heads up. But that is the truth. Once we snap out of it, y'all just don't hit the same. It is what it is. We have burned the cape and we're trying to get other Black women on code to do the same. Hashtag stay home, Black women. Spread the hashtag. Share the video. Also, let me know what you think about this in the comment section, and I'll catch up with you in the next one.